It hasn't snowed in this country for a good few years now, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to present something that I've been meaning to for a little while because it seems appropriate. So this is my argument from Igloos. Every apologist has got that thing that they're known for, and this could be my one. I'm kind of hoping it isn't, because I do think it's not the best. It's probably a lot of things wrong with it, but there's something to it, and I'm going to give it to you anyway. So yeah, basically, I don't want this coming back later and biting me like Ray Comfort and his banana. I'm aware that it's daft. Don't worry. We know that Eskimos, or Inuits, I don't know if they are really insulted by the use of the word Eskimos, but that's what we know them by. They live in igloos in frozen places that look a lot more frozen than this. So what is the reason that Eskimos live in igloos in frozen places like this? There doesn't seem to be any good reason for it. There's no kind of evolutionary benefit to it. There's no real reason. There's no benefits there. Hello, darling. What's the matter? Yeah, it's cold out, isn't it? You should probably go inside. You know, like, because being out in the cold like this is just not a good idea. Even Pippi agrees. So why live like that? Why choose to settle down in a place and build your house out of this horrible cold stuff? You know, it's fun to stay and play in it for a while, but you don't want to live in it. You don't want to build your house out of it. And the food around them is scarce. You know, they've got to make holes and fish in these holes. There's no guarantee, and there's not going to be much there. And then they're living among polar bears. What are they doing? Why live there? It's mad. Why do that? So just move away. Why live there? Don't do it. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff about how it's traditional for them now, and they're just upholding the tradition of their ancestors now and stuff like that. But still, the people that first went there, just why not just think, hey, screw this, and then move on, go somewhere else. So okay, basically, there's no good reason for them to live there, but they do. And here is a potentially good reason for why it's happened. God in his wisdom guided them there, to live there, to make up a settlement, to settle down, become a culture that we're all loosely familiar with, and we all know what an Eskimo or an Inuit is. We all know what an igloo is, and that's the point. We all know what an igloo is, even though most of us may not have even seen a real one. We all know what an igloo is. And quite possibly the reason that we know what an igloo is because when we were growing up, when we were little, someone gave us a phonetic alphabet. A is for apple, B is for ball, and so on. When you got to I was for igloo. That's how we all know how to remember I. I is for igloo. Now, these phonetic alphabets, they rarely don't use I for igloo. Igloo for I, even. It's pretty much... I mean, there are others. There are other examples, but it's kind of difficult to think of a good one. I for igloo is pretty much the standard, and then because we have I for igloo, we then know about the Eskimos and the Inuits and their whole culture there. We go on to learn about polar bears and stuff. And here's the thrust of it. God sent the Eskimos to the Arctic to live there, to live in igloos, so that we could have I is for igloo in our phonetic alphabets, and we can learn our alphabets easier. Yeah, I know, it's daft, isn't it? It's daft. It's daft. But why else would that be the case? Why? What other reason is there for them to do that? Apart from this kind of thing that has the greater good of helping the rest of the English-speaking world to know what I is for. You know, I've said it now, and it is a daft argument. It is a daft argument. I think there's something to it. It's kind of an illustration of how God can take something bad and use it for something good and helpful, a greater good, if you will. I mean, if I was going to list a top 10 list of arguments, that wouldn't even come close. But, you know, it's original to me. I'm using it. I'm putting it out there as a thing. I like it. I'm sure you like it too, really. Maybe you're even convinced. Maybe it works for you. Maybe it does. I mean, I can't think of anything wrong with it particularly. I'm sure there is something wrong with it, but I can't think of anything wrong with it. So, yeah, Pippi, go inside. If I was going to put it in a sort of a more formal structure, I'd say There is no good naturalistic reason for Eskimos to live in igloos. Premise 2, God has given us a good reason for Eskimos to live in igloos, so therefore God exists, because if he didn't, then there would be no good reason for Eskimos to live in igloos. I know that I just kind of put that out there. I'm sure that's not even sound, but we can structure it better. It's a work in progress, but it's out there now. Let's go with it. One day it'll be up there with the Kalam and the ontological. I'm sure of it. I'm not. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's a jokegument. It's a jokegument. I'm going to coin that phrase now. It's a jokegument. Yeah. Okay. God bless.